Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
This nation, what's going on? I am Chris Ingram.
And I'm Evan Hayes.
And this is the No Bluffin podcast where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest about everything Grizzlies, man. Glad to be back with y'all on this Sunday night going into Monday. If you're watching this on YouTube on Monday, obviously we pre-record this on live on X Sunday nights. So they get it first over there. But we appreciate it already before we done really said a word. We got over 100 of y'all in here on X, so we appreciate y'all tapping in on this Sunday night. Know y'all want to talk about this Jimmy Butler stuff. I know y'all want to talk about the Grizzlies and this West Coast road trip. So if you are in the comments, give us a thumbs up, give us a what up, give us a whatever you want to give us in the comments, man. You can give us a finger sign if you want to as well. That's all good. It's all love.
Do something. Give us, just engage with us. We love the engagement. As long as love us or hate us, as long as y'all are watching, you know. Give us something. You feel me?
For sure. But man, before we get started, make sure y'all go ahead and give us a follow on X at our handles down below, as well as our main pod page over there as well at the No Bluffin Pod. Before we get started, man, and get into the meat and potatoes of the show, Evan, my boy, how you feeling? How you doing? How was your week, brother? Tell me some good news.
Man, it's smooth, man. Just this is my last week of winter break before I start my master's program. So I'm just enjoying being home, just working out, still going to work, making a little bread, seeing my people. I had me a little graduation dinner last week. Yeah. That's when we recorded last and had a little graduation dinner. That was cool. Went to one of my homeboys' birthday parties for him, celebrate with him. New Year's Eve was cool. So just seeing people, just fellowshipping with everybody. Went to church. That was dope as always. Shout out my church family back home. So yeah, it's just good being around my family, being around my friends, and just taking it easy before I had to get back in school mode. Because next week, when we do record, y'all will see me in a whole nother venue. I know y'all get tired of me changing my venues up all the time.
All over.
I'll be city. So I'll be in another. This y'all last of my posters and my medals in my background and my John Morant poster. Next week I'll be in my college apartment. I don't know how it's gonna look, so we're gonna be figuring out together next week when everything look different. So but it's cool though. I'm blessed to be in that position. Looking forward to it. But yeah, man, just get this last week out the way and get to the meat and potatoes, you would say. So how was your week though? How you feeling though?
Man, week was good. Still chomping that tree on everything else outside of the podcast. What is going on? I know it's a winter storm. Okay, getting some weird notification over here. Trying to freeze over, but anyway, everything been cool, bro. Sad because my oldest daughter done got some. It ain't whatever it is that's going on. Yeah. I know it's some. It ain't quite the vid.
Some adjacent to that.
Yeah, it'll make something else up because boy, it's going around like crazy. So it could just be easily something that she got from daycare, but she in there not feeling too well. So been trying to nurse, wife been nursing her. I've been trying to kind of keep up with the little one. That's my dog right there. She's up serious. So but other than that, man, everything has been good on this side. So yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I know we're finna talk about it in a minute. I'm really feeling good because them Broncos back in the playoffs now.
Shout out to the Broncos. Shout out Bo Nix and them boys.
Let me get my squad. I know this.
This ain't an NFL podcast, but you got to
get my guys, man.
Turn us over. Yeah. Bo Nix and the boys.
Slap this year. I ain't gonna hold you. Shout out to Paris Sharkey, my boy, and him, Ted Shakir, everybody over at Let's Be Real Media. They always have me on to do the season preview of the AFC. Breakdown, and man, this year I stood on it. I said, hey, we was gonna be second in the AFC West, I think we did. And I was like, hey, I don't care if it sound crazy, and technically I want to say we low-key tied for second. I got to figure out what happened with the Chargers because they 10-6 and we 10-7, but like what happened to they one game. But anyway, it's a tie to me. I don't care what y'all say. So shout out to them boys, they back in the playoffs.
Yep.
feeling good about that.
Yeah, shout out.
My dad team is the Patriots. Them folks on fire. Todd Mayo already.
Gerard Mayo, that's terrible.
Todd Mayo, good
Yeah,
God.
well, another. I don't know, man. It's just I hate seeing black coaches lose their job unfairly. And of course, the Patriots weren't good. But after like your first year, what do you expect when you don't have a good quarterback situation? Your defense is suspect. You don't have good players. Like I don't understand what the Patriots. And if I don't know if y'all caught it, but Rob Gronkowski was talking about it, and he was finna go really deep into how Robert Kraft and the rest of the Patriots front office does, but they cut him off and sent him. I really want to see what Gronk had to say. They cut
Shoot it to me, bro.
No, yeah, bro. Was Michael Strahan? He was like, "We gotta go to commercial. We gotta go." Like he was Grunk. You can see Grunk was finna start cooking, really telling how the Patriots front office really be moving. Michael Strahan, oh, I can't let you. We gotta go to commercial. I was like, let the man speak his piece, man.
Right.
Someone that's been in there for 10 plus years, man. He know, but yeah, I hate seeing another black man lose their job, and I feel like he didn't get a fair shot. So he'll get another job, but you just hate to see it.
Yeah, we hearing that actually a little bit right now with the Titans, with the GM. They talking about Rand Carthon maybe getting fired, and it's like, if you know football, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. With No Bluffin news starting off really surrounded by the NFL playoffs coming up, bro. If you know football and you know the players that he brought in, Rand Carthon really did a turnaround for the Tennessee Titans fans out there. I'm a Titans fan adjacent. My wife, that's her team, and they always been hometown, so I always support them.
Yeah.
They brought in great players this offseason. To me, I was like, hey, they got the top receiving core they never had, in my personal opinion. They brought in some good running backs, good defensive players, but it just never worked out. That first time head coach, Brian Callahan, like it can go so many different ways, bro. I don't think that's Rand Carthon's fault. I think he did his job with players. You don't fire that man for 1 season, bro. You don't do stuff like that. I'm sorry.
Nah, you don't.
And honestly, it ain't even about a black and white thing. I hate to see it with black coaches and black GMs, but if he was yellow, blue, purple, I don't care. Like, if you did your job in a sense and stuff just don't shake out, it was already a team that was destined to fail. So, like, you can't put it on that person and just the blame on it.
Yeah.
But we do got the NFL playoffs that are set as of tonight. So, we just want to talk about some of the matchups, man. That's starting next week, actually. Evan, just kind of go into what we should be looking into this. I think it's going to be a good playoff. I don't want to call it playoff season, but a good playoff for sure.
Yeah, postseason, yeah. So just I'm gonna rank. Yeah, I'm gonna rank up before I go to the match. I'm just for everybody. I'm gonna rank off all the standings 1 through 7 real quick for each conference. The AFC, the Chiefs are the number 1 seed, followed by the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans, the 4th seed, the Chargers, 5th seed, the Steelers, the 6th seed, and the Broncos being the 7th. And with the NFC, Detroit just won, so Detroit is the number 1 seed, Philadelphia is number 2 seed, Tampa Bay is the 3 seed, Los Angeles is the 4 seed, Minnesota is the 5th seed, the Commanders are the 6th seed, and the Packers are the 7th seed. In the wild card round, the Chargers will be playing the Texans. The Steelers will be placing the Ravens. The Broncos will be playing the Bills. The Packers versus the Eagles. The Commanders play the Buccaneers. And the Vikings will play the Rams in the wild card round. So just listen off that from the matches I just named. What are you looking forward to? How do you like to have the standings kind of shaped up? What are your thoughts on going into wild card weekend next week? You muted my dog.
Rookie mistake, my bad, my guy. You already know that number 1 matchup I'm looking at is the Bills and the Broncos. Yep. The Bills are not the same Bills that we've seen them over, the last couple of years. But you got Josh Allen the same way when you look at Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, when you look at Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Them guys gonna find a way to win. They're gonna find a way to figure it out. But I will say just that aura that the Broncos are playing with, trying to take my bias out of it.
Yeah.
Them guys, they hungry and they don't have nothing to lose because they're not supposed to be here. No. So, it's one of them things where like the heat is on the Bills to produce and get to where they supposed to be at. With us, it's kind of more so like, all right, well, we go in here, first of all, we're back to the playoffs. I think it's been 10 years, number 1. But then number 2, like I said, they playing some good football right now, and I would love to see them just kind of like the Grizzlies did a couple years ago, just start upsetting people. Like I know they didn't do it in the postseason too much, but they did beat the expectations that were set up on them. So I would love to see that. But if I had to kind of give another like matchup that I'm looking forward to next weekend, it's probably going to be. I don't think that Steelers-Ravens matchup is going to be much of anything. I think the Ravens will go out there and handle business easy. I'm going to probably say that Texans and Chargers just because I'm not betting on that game at all. I don't know who comes out of that based off all the stuff that the Texans have had to deal with this season. CJ Stroud has not been the exact same as what he was last year. Still serviceable, but just not the same guy. And they, it could just be some second-year stuff that he's going through. He talked a lot of smack on podcasts this past summer. But that's going to be the one that my other eyes probably tied to next week.
Yeah, he lost his two. He also lost his two. He's wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 this year. He lost Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, so he's doing the best he can. Right. But yeah, I think that Bills matchup, I think that'll be a tough out for the Bills because, like you said, the Broncos be playing good. And you got to shout out Bo Nix. He's the second rookie quarterback in the playoffs right now outside Jaden Daniels. People not really talking about that enough, so I'm not even a Broncos fan, but I just have to shout out good football. But my favorite matchup is definitely the Eagles-Packers matchup. Yeah, excuse me. The Eagles been playing well the whole year, but that Packers team can be very dangerous when they're playing well. And I think that's going to be a very tough out for the Eagles. I don't really have like a true NFL team because I never grew up a Titans fan. I like the Eagles. I used to like the Eagles because of Michael Vick. When the Russ and LOB was there, I was a Seahawks fan. So I guess those two like my teams. And of course, I'm not saying I'm a Chiefs fan, but I like Patrick Mahomes because he plays good football. I'm not saying I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm a supporter, I guess, So yeah, as an Eagles fan, I want to see the Eagles go far. If that Packers matchup does scare me because that defense is very good and Jordan Love is playing great football. Other than that, I feel like it should be a pretty normal to pretty exciting wild card round and really get to see who the Chiefs and the Lions play next week, and that can be very difficult. So hey, I feel like we got a good playoffs ahead of us, man. I don't want to get into the whole MVP conversation because that's another conversation I don't want to get into.
Oh damn, that who you got, bro? No, let's just don't throw it out there.
It should be Lamar. It should be Lamar.
Right. On the same page.
It should be Lamar. He's not gonna get it because they
gonna give it to based off politics.
They're gonna give a Here Ninja, as you would say, award to Josh Allen. That's what they're gonna do.
You shouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, he's lost some of his traditional weapons, I guess you could say. But I mean, nah, man. Get it to Lamar. I'm sorry. If we gotta sit here and watch Jokic get 3-4 MVPs.
Lamar has 45 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Come on, dog. That's unreal, bro.
This is like peak quarterback play. Like honestly, like it should be Lamar, but he's not gonna get it. So I'll wait to see what's gonna happen. But Lamar Jackson should be a 3-time MVP this year. Just to let you know. But hey,
if he don't get the MVP and his consolation prize is the Super Bowl. All right, cool.
What you gonna do? Yeah.
Cool. Can't have it all.
Can't have it all. No, I can't.
It might be an omen. Like it might be a good omen. Like I didn't get this, so I deserve to get this. Or you got to win. But I could see that. For sure. But I didn't put this one on the docket, my boy. But I did want to kind of go over this with the listeners and you as well. We do. It's not really an injury update, but I shout out to my boy Parker VP on Twitter. He put a tweet out on X the other day, just kind of breaking down where we are with the Grizzlies as far as updates. Just based off what Grizzlies PR put out there. It's not anything that we've gotten verbatim, from the team, but just kind of keeping track of the Grizzlies PR updates they put out weeks ago. He did a really good job of just kind of tracking where we are in those. And if y'all can see where we at, just kind of break it down. Shout out to Parker for doing this. Santi Aldama, he was shown in the last 2 games out there shooting threes, getting some shoot around workouts in. So expecting his ankle to kind of be in a good position based off the window that they said. Parker said anywhere from January 4th to the 18th. I'm thinking that's definitely going to be on the lower end than the further end, since he's, like I said, showing to be well in that regard. Ja, anywhere from the 6th to the 27th. Again, I would expect him. Shout out to Dr. Buckets, my boy Rusty Whitten. I shot him a text in our group chat we got when that got released about Ja's update being week to week. And the first thing he said was just based off him being able to move his shoulder and shoot with the left hand, that showed that it wasn't nothing too crazy. So I would say he's definitely probably, further away from the 27th than, being close to the 6th. Vince, same thing. Saw him doing some shoot around at practice and things like that. Sound like he may be the one furthest out, honestly, bro. And I hate to say that, but just with being careful with his ankle, the grade that he had on that, definitely looking like he's gonna be the furthest out, even comparing it to this stat right here. And the big one that I can't wait for. Well, I'm gonna lose my mind when Gigi Jackson hit that floor with them guys.
But I'm not trying to get on dude case, but like he put on a lot of muscle. Like dude looks huge now. Like I don't know what the Memphis strength staff got that man on, but
man, some creatine, whey protein, eating cows, hogs, everything.
Eating 4-5 meals a day with 2 snacks in between. Yes. Like, buddy been in the weight room. He's taking all of this rehab time to really get his body right. And because last year he was a kid, people physically pushed him around, but now he getting his grown man body now. Definitely them genes kicking in at the right time. So I'm definitely can't wait to see Gigi back on the floor. But everybody else, I kind of agree with you. I think Vince is probably the furthest out. I suspect Ja being back, but then after this homestand, like after these next 2 games at home, because we have a game today as this episode comes out on Monday. On the 6th, we have another one, I think on the 8th or the 9th. After those games, I feel like he'll return those next few games on the road. So I think Ja will be back. Santi same around that same time. I really think they just trying to like take it slow with Vince and Gigi as well, since Gigi broke his foot. So I think Vince and Gigi gonna return like within like a game or 2 of each other. That's just my head canon, because they've been kind of straightening them along, kind of the same type of way, So
I wouldn't be surprised if everybody back by MLK game, bro. Honestly,
I actually would be surprised. Honestly,
really,
I would be surprised, especially with Vince, how bad his ankle sprain was, and he's doing the least amount on the court compared to all these guys which you can see in the pregame. I think I reposted that a few days ago what everybody was doing. I'll be surprised, because today's the 6th, so you give Vince 2 weeks to be back in full basketball shape. I wouldn't say that.
He wasn't in shape when he came back first time. He was up there with the t-shirt looking sloppy. So that's the one where I was kind of like, they usually make sure they in pretty good shape, but Vince didn't look. I mean, I understand he had the fro and everything. Vince didn't look good at all as far as shape wise. He still was kind of hooping, but hey, if it's the other 3, all I care about is Gigi. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm sorry. Like that's my outside of Ja, that's my favorite player on this team. Y'all know that. That man, the way that he, like you said, the size he done put on, the obvious need that we have for him as far as creating the half court, and I'm glad people are starting to awaken, just waking from that slumber of what Gigi is going to look like in this offense. Because you done had some people, especially when Jake was cooking at the beginning of the season, there's no way Gigi is going to be ahead of him. And then, we don't even know what he's going to look like in this offense. If y'all pay attention and know basketball, just because he's been a better, probably creator than half the guys on this team, that's not a knock on him. This man is about to thrive in his offense. And you gave him literally John Henry shoulders. Oh, you can watch out. Literally,
John Henry's crazy.
You can watch out. Hey,
John Henry's crazy. That's funny.
Well, when out there slamming that wood, pause. Good God.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You was tripping with that one. Yeah, that's kind of OD. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
Slow down.
Pause. Big pause. Hey,
you know what? Just for that, we're gonna go ahead and go to break.
Yeah, we need to lose out real quick. That was kind of you said a lot of weird stuff on this channel. Yeah, that may be the top one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, that may be number 1.
That's crazy. I apologize for y'all ears on that one. My bad. But anyway, we gonna go. We're
gonna move on. We're gonna be okay. Let's move on. Man. It did happen. Yeah. Rewind. It did happen.
What get the break. Me and the black man made it with the little splash.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Y'all be good. We we all adults here. It's okay.
We about to head to break, man. On the other side, we're gonna go ahead and chop it up about this Jimmy Butler news. We're gonna break down what we believe these trades will potentially look like, the realistic, chance of it happening, what the fit looks like. We're gonna break all that down. Got a lot to talk about with it, as well as the guys coming back from that 5-game road trip on the West Coast. So we'll be right back in just a second on the No Bluffin podcast.
I'm excited for the Grizzlies can be. As you mentioned, you guys are dealing with a lot of injuries, but that's kind of what excites you because you've seen a lot of guys like make a name for themselves. I think Jalen Wells has been like, I'm just like wowed by him. I think it was a guy that I didn't know much about. And so kind of seeing him like come into this like fold and like being a starter. And like, I think you're going to have to answer a lot of hard questions, especially healthy again. When you have so many guys that you can like plug and play like that makes it where it's like, oh, this team could be really good. And Zach Edey, I know from being a Grizzlies fan in Memphis, like the big has always been, that puzzle piece that we've been trying to figure out what it's like, and will Zach Edey as a rookie be good? Seeing him play last night, it was like, especially when you think about like we were undersized, but how Zach Edey as a rookie can like dominate that area, and seeing the connection and the chemistry that he already has with John Morant is, to me, that excites me for like what is to come.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
And let's give Jacob Rapier a shout out. I know he catches a lot of flack, but he's had a great week since that contract to get renewed. Even that night against Milwaukee, he had a good game. So
since Halloween,
I think he has the highest plus minus on the team, and he's been a plus in every single game since the first loss to the Nets. He's been a positive on the court ever since then. So
I mean, he's been the most. Is it weird that he's been the most reliable guy that we've had out there? The growth that Jake has shown, just in a season's length of games, is really impressive. And considering how like bad he was, like when he got drafted, it's pretty impressive.
Right.
It might be one of the most impressive things Kleiman's done.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with your host, Lute Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Back to the No Bluffin pod, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest about everything Grizzlies. I am Chris Ingram. To my right is my right hand man, Evan Hayes, and got swole on y'all ass real quick.
I had to for the one time. It's hot as hell in my house right now, so I had to, get myself together. I had to put some. Still rep the team. I'm like, ooh, need to change real quick. God damn, this hoodie wasn't doing it for me. I don't know. You making me hot by having a hoodie on right now. So I had to.
Hey, this house don't go past 70 degrees, brother. So hey,
see, you got babies in the house, so you got to keep it at a regular temperature for them. We got
me too. I'm high body, bro. No cap. Like I will, I sweat just by blinking. I blink and sweat. Like it just ain't good. So yeah, we got to keep it cool in this house for sure. But yeah, man, let's start off with I'm gonna let you choose. How do you want to do this? Do you want to take the road trip first, or do you want to address this Jimmy Butler stuff? Where you want to go with the show, bro?
There's probably more meat on the bone with the Jimmy Butler stuff, at least in my opinion. Okay. So I would say let's knock out the road trip first, and then we'll get to the Jimmy G Buckets news.
Say less. I can get with that. Let's chop it up about the road trip. The Grizz go 2-3, man. Honestly, they probably should have been 4-1 for real. For real. But things happen, and we're going to discuss that. What led to them going 2-3 on the road trip. Let's break down who they play. They started off with the Pelicans.
Yeah, I got you right here. We played the Pelicans, got the dub. That's the game that Ja got hurt, and then we played the Thunder, got blew up by 24. Then we played the Suns, won by 5 on the 31st on New Year's Eve. Then we lost to the Kings by 5, and then we played the Warriors yesterday and lost by 8 in Golden State without Steph Curry in the lineup, might I add.
And Kuminga getting
Gary Perry.
Now, I will say this.
Yeah.
just to start off with that point, and I'm gonna let you kind of break it down however way you want to do it. But I've seen people talk about like, well, they didn't have this person, they had that person, bro. Like, I get it. Like, our expectation of this team is high. I got it. But let's not forget who we're missing too. Like I'm not gonna give like and two things can be true. Remember, it's nuance when we talk about anything, really. It ain't just basketball. Should the Grizzlies have won that game going against a Steph Curry-less, Jonathan Kuminga-less, Brandon Pods-less,
Gary Payton Jr. less
Warriors team? Yes, we should have beat them folks. But let's not act like we were not without Ja Morant, Santi Aldama, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, unfortunately, Luke Kennard,
Marcus Smart.
However you want to look at that, Marcus Smart. I ain't gonna count Jitty, but shout out to him. But we didn't have him.
Not gonna count him. It's crazy. That's funny. Not counting him, man. It's crazy.
I mean, he in the roster guy. Like, if we got to pull roster, Jitty ain't touching the court. But like, we had 5 or 6 guys that are mainly in the rotation, the top 8 of your rotation that did not play. So I don't want to hear that a Steph Curry that's clearly on the end of his career with just the way that his season been going this year. You know, I get the talent distribution this year with his team and stuff like that. But yeah, like, I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, bro. Like, they should have won that game. But I am not going to sit here and give them the excuse of health and we not talk about it on our side too. And that's a problem that we got to clear up, obviously. I heard shout out to Michael Wallace with Grind City Media. He talked about, you know, people say all the time, like, is Ja really worried about his injury, stuff like that? He broke it down that, yeah, like, Ja is understanding that it's a problem that he's trying to prevent in any way possible. But this stuff that is like these freak accidents, he's strengthening his body in this off season. I think this is the biggest he's been in his whole career, you know, putting on muscle, trying to be able to absorb that contact. And you just getting these just weird things, bro, that is happening to him, honestly, on a nightly basis. Like, the dude ain't played what people been talking about. I think is he ain't played 5 games straight this year, like, at all. So it's definitely some things that we got to talk about internally with the team to kind of help Ja, you know, stay on the court. But obviously he ain't doing this on purpose. So back on track, man, with the road trip. Just talk about some of the things that you saw. Likes, I know it was a lot of things to like, but it was also some things that we can point out and kind of say we need to work on this. What did you see as far as you know, spectator standpoint?
I don't know. Maybe I come from a pessimistic standpoint because I did a review on 2 of these games, so I had to watch them a little more closely to do like my review for them. But I didn't see a lot of great quality basketball like during this stretch. I'm not saying we played terrible. I'm not saying we played like below average basketball, but we didn't play up to our standard, no matter if guys are in the lineup a lot. We saw a lot of bad offense. When I mean bad offense, I mean a lot of turnovers. Turnovers was a big issue over these last few games. We also saw very bad fourth quarter execution, which has always been a problem throughout the whole year, no matter if Ja and Dez and everybody's in the lineup or not. Those 2 things you can't have. Also, we've been giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, which a lot of people aren't talking about. A lot, even with Edie in the lineup and Tripp and BC being in the lineup. And I know BC missed a game and missed a district. I can't remember which game he missed, but he missed a game. We've known been a very good rebounding, especially defensive rebounding team. We're giving up a little bit of offensive rebounds. The offense is still good. Guys are hitting shots. Dez is being back Dez. I love to see that. Jaren is still being Danny, the best player on the court, no matter who he's playing against. And I love those things. But it's just bad habits that I'm not seeing. I'm still seeing the energy on the team. We go through lulls where just guys walk back on defense, guys doing lazy passes, like that type of stuff. Like those are the type of things that y'all listen to this podcast. I've reiterated before. You can't have those bad habits starting now and expect them to be not there when we get to playoff time.
Right.
Those are the things that upset me as a Grizzly fan. And number 2 is a person that just knows basketball. So I feel like a lot of things I'm talking about, people that don't know basketball don't pick up those things because they just look what's in the box score. The box score, we lost to the Kings by 5. But that game was really, we was down by 15 at one point in that game. We gave up 46 points in the first quarter.
Right.
When did we ever gave up 46 points to
almost 50
below
points in the first is crazy.
Like we gave up 72 points in the whole half. We gave up 70. When's the last time you heard a Grizzly team? Not even, I don't care if Ted Jenkins was here, Lionel Hollins was here, Jay Bickerson, Jay Yeager. We've always been a staple on defensive end, and we're giving up 72 points in a half. And a lot of that stuff is just effort. If you look at some of those things, it's just closing out on. You had DeMar DeRozan getting wild on 3-pointers. DeMar DeRozan isn't a 3-point shooter.
Mid-range king.
Mid-range king, you're giving him a 3-point shooters. That's when it comes down to effort. And I get it. This team's been, of course, it's not as bad as last year, but we've gone through a lot of things with this year. The guys in lineup, there's trade rumors getting slaughtered around the team. These guys are human at the end of the day. So I can understand just from a human from a human perspective, athlete perspective, it can be hard to be at 10 every night when you don't know who's playing or not. You got Zach Edey getting out with a migraine, but you thought it was concussion, but it was a migraine. John not playing. These freak injuries. You got Smart and trade rumors. You think we finna get Dorian Finney-Smith. That doesn't happen. Like, I can understand, like, we live in the age of social media. You can't tell me the players don't hear any of that stuff. Of course they do.
Oh, for sure. You even got idiots tagging them.
Like, so, you got idiots tagging these votes. So, like, I get it how it's hard to, like, be a 10 every night. But fortunately for them, that's their job, to be at the 10 dang near every night. Right. And, like, yeah, guys can miss shots. Guys can miss their assignments on defense, but you can't say nothing about effort. And that's what I don't like to see. I don't care who's in line. I don't care if it's just a bunch of Memphis hustle dudes. You got to play hard, bro, throughout in all 48 minutes of the game. And I know we can talk about TJ having certain guys in when they're not supposed to be in and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But no matter who in for, you got to play hard.
Right.
So that's why when I say, like, these games, like during the Suns game, that was the best game. In my opinion, that was the best game we played during this road trip.
No doubt.
Like, I don't care, but like, we had the Pelicans game. That was a good win, played well. But the Suns game, we should not have won that game. But the reason why, because we played damn good defense throughout the whole freaking game, took care of the ball, ran our stuff to perfection, and kept running it and competed. We didn't have guys taking ill-advised shots. We didn't have guys, Scottie Pippen Jr., going 1-on-4, 1-on-5. Like, we didn't have guys doing that.
Trying to get y'all there.
Like, we was running our offense. We was running our offense through Jaren and through Dez and getting to what we need. But these other games, there was 5, 8, 10 minute stretches where those things just didn't happen. We were just going through the motions, it felt like, you know?
Right.
And that's why I say during this trip, like, I don't care. Like, I agree. We probably could win 4-1. I honestly, no disrespect to you, but I don't care about none of that because we didn't play a good quality of basketball.
The habits.
The habits, exactly. Like, I don't want to say this because this probably may say hyperbole, but I'd rather play very good quality basketball and lose in a close game rather than win a sloppy ass game. Yeah. Just for that one, it'd be different. We was in the 6 or 7, 8 seed and we're fighting for playoff position. Yeah, of course I'll take the win. But we are a contending NBA team. So I want to have those good habits consistently and maybe drop one of those 2 games in the process rather than playing a subpar team and winning. Like, I saw a stat today. We're 3-9 versus Western teams over 500. And a lot of those games were winnable, aka the Dallas Mavericks game, if we just execute the way we are capable of executing.
Right.
And I saw, and they gave like a print. He's like, we're 2-4. We're like 2-4 when Ja plays and 1-5 when he doesn't play. So even with Ja in the lineup, we're still not playing well.
Right.
And it's not because we're not as talented as those teams. It's not that we don't have the personnel. It's just the mental lapses and the not executing the way that we need to. That's why I'm not saying, we always say wait till guys get back, yada yada. And that's true. Wait till guys get back. That's a valid point. I can't wait to see GG, Vince, and everybody back.
Yeah.
But it don't matter if them guys get back if they doing the same BS that these guys doing now. And I know I'm saying really negative. We're still a great team. I'm not trying to say all this saying like
no, you're not, bro. No, you're not. I hate when people this is the back up what you're saying. I hate when people hear critiques or just observations. Like what we do and when we watching the game, sometimes if we came in here on this podcast or any other podcast or media member, whoever, and it is some out there to do this, and it is what it is. Shout out to you, more power to you. But if we just regurgitated everything that everybody is saying, only talked about positivity and positive things we're seeing on the court, whether it's a lot of them or if it's not a lot of them, if that's the only thing that we talked about, I ain't trying to hear that. I mean, maybe this ain't the podcast view. I'm sorry, because we're gonna talk about the good things, but we're also gonna talk about some of the things that we're seeing that are negative. And it's not to say that this team is bad. It's not to say that we don't want to see these guys. We don't think this team can go far. But if you've played sports and if you watch this I'm not saying I'm the best basketball mind ever. Like, not at all. It's people that can talk this stuff way deeper in depth and context than I can, 100%. But it is a certain tier that I have of knowledge when it comes to basketball. And some of this stuff is so elementary. It's like you taking this as that we crapping on the team or whatever just because let's stop, bro. Like, it's clear issues that this team has right now that are easily fixed. It's not like they can't fix them. It's just this is what we see. And honestly, we've seen these guys coast through the regular season before, get to the playoffs, and look like they don't belong. As a fan, a super fan, I'm gonna just even say, I don't want to see them guys go out like that again. No. So yeah, we're gonna talk about those things that we see that are constant and very evident, like issues that could be better. So I just wanted to kind of back you up on that, because I hate when people say, "Well, you negative just because you critiquing something." Like, no, like
you call it spade a spade. Keeping the stack, like keeping the band, like, and just like your point, like. We've seen this team do regular season basketball. Like, we're a good regular season team. Cool. But we've also seen those over the years, there's been habits that wasn't corrected in the regular season that reared their ugly head in the playoffs. Dylan Brooks was always a shot chucker. He was always a inefficient basketball player. But it didn't get magnified into the playoffs.
Yep.
Ja Morant, if I love him to death, was always at one point, not now, was a defensive liability on defense. And you saw in the playoffs, people exploited him. You saw that. We did not have as big a deep, I'm talking about previous, we thought we had a super deep bench. We thought, we got the deepest team in the league, yada, yada. When we got to the playoffs, them bench guys that we thought was going to show up like we did, and I love Tyus Jones, but he did not show up in those playoffs when we needed him. Tyus Jones, one of my favorite backup Grizzlies of all time, but he did not show up the way he needed to. Santi Aldama in his time in the past years has not shown up the way he's needed to. And we can go down the list. So when I talk like this, it's because I don't want to see, like you said, the story repeat itself of we're playing. So like, that's why I don't want to see us coasting through the regular season. Like, I just want to see good quality basketball and good habits. If they allocate to wins, yes, get a good playoff seed, of course.
Right.
But we need to be in these playoff type atmospheres, like the Kings. Even though the Kings are a playoff team, the Sacramento fan base is a very raucous fan base. They get very loud, very rowdy, very fast. And it seemed like when in that game, when things got shaky, we got shook a little bit. During the Golden State game, we had a lot of opportunities down the stretch where we could have won that game, but it was missing shots. It was turning the ball over. It was getting over wide open shots, wide open late. Like, our 3-point defense has been bad the whole season. I don't care what y'all say. It's been bad the whole season. What's up, Kay? It's been bad the whole season. But there has been games, Boston Celtics game, where we have been able to amend bad 3-point defense with good overall team defense. Right. But it has to be consistent. That's why with this road trip, I want to see just a good quality, because like I said in the last podcast, we've already played 5 of them. Out of our next 8 games, 6 of them are Western Conference opponents, if my math's correct. Yeah, it was 13, it was 11 to 13. Yep. The next 8 games, 6 of those teams are Western Conference opponents. And all those teams are pretty playoff teams or on fringe playoff teams. I just want to see good quality basketball and not doing the same bad habits. Like, it's even from a coaching standpoint. In most situations, Zach Edey and Jerry Jackson Jr. is a plus when they're on the floor together. But for some reason, Taylor Jenkins does not like to play them together. I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. I don't get the whole thing about starting Edey one game and starting BC another game. Make up your mind, Playboy.
Let me talk about that real quick, because that irritates the hell out of me, bro. Like,
you got it.
This man, it was so funny. I literally tweeted this out, and I can't remember his handle, so I apologize if you're watching right now. But he tweeted me back because my tweet was basically like, I feel like TJ is flipping a coin to decide who's going to start between BC and Zach Edey. Because it makes no sense that we play the team with bigger size in the Kings and you start BC, but then we play the team that doesn't have damn near any size in the Warriors and you start Edey. And the first thing that the dude responded, he was like, well, yeah, it makes perfect sense because they don't have any size. And I'm like, so you don't start him against a team that does have size? He's like, you know what, you right, that dude tripping. Like, that don't make sense at all, bro. Like, it's nothing that you can say logically to me to say, okay, we're playing Domantas Sabonis, which is a bigger guy that we know Jaren possibly may have issues with fouling, like with him. Like, we just – it's historical data to back that up.
Which he did foul at that game, right?
All in the fourth quarter.
All in the fourth quarter. Yes, all 6 fouls in the fourth quarter. He fouled out with 48 seconds left in the fourth. And when that dumb foul with De'Aaron Fox and all that.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just no rhyme or reason to it, it seems like. Yeah, you can say, you know, he was coming back off a concussion, whatever. Like, we the only team that make these excuses. The teams that have bona fide or solidified starters on their team, they start their guys. Unless you are what we just saw reported that the Phoenix Suns are spiraling. They benching and Nurkic now.
Yeah.
They spiraling. They're losing. They're out of the playoffs and the play-in. That's understandable. They just grabbing for straws at this point.
They're trying to trade people, all that, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to pump up the fact that we're number 2 in the West with all of the injuries still leading the league in injured games missed, great. But let's just find a freaking identity and stick with it, bro. No other team does this. We treating the regular season like it's playoffs. Well, depending on who we play, is who we're going to start. That makes no sense. Give these dudes a rhythm in their role and just go with it, bro. I don't understand that. But, yeah, that just made absolutely no sense. And I'm not going to say that cost them the game or anything like that, because like you said, that Kings game in particular, Jaren was playing well, but it seemed like, you know, that fourth quarter, he just kind of checked out. He didn't check out like, oh, I don't want to be here, but he checked out of whatever the zone that he had been in those last couple of games, and even in that spots in it and spurts of that game, he checked out of that. And he has these mental lapses a lot of times where, like, you'll see him engage, and I'm like, damn, this is the person that we drafted number 4. This is the person that we're developing to be this unicorn that can do everything on the floor. You know, TJ, shout out to him, has been, you know, up in his minutes. And you see my boy Marky Savage, we was on this podcast about a year and a half ago talking about Jaren could almost average a double-double if you played him enough minutes. But that playing him 30 and below when you know he's already not the strongest rebounder, he's never going to be a double-double guy. That just ain't him. He's not a Rudy Gobert. He's not a Jokic. Sabonis. He's not these guys. But you start playing him 35, 36 minutes like these other guys are playing, you'll probably see Jaren bust out of 25 and 10 pretty consistently. And you start to see, I mean, his rebounds, at least on this road trip, have been up. But like I said, just locking in, tapping into that aggressiveness and just knowing the moments of the game. I feel like Jaren is a very smart person. But when it comes to basketball, he can just kind of go left like really, really quick if he don't stay locked in. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick because you brought that up, and I was like, man, that was a terrible that didn't make no sense as far as the changing up the lineups like that. Did you have anything else for the road trip?
Nah, I'm trying to look up Jaren's per 36 minutes for this road trip. I just can't find it right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll go a little bit on the road trip a little bit more if you can find it.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I talked about Jaren and literally, bro, like if I just need him to be consistent in his mentality. Like, it ain't the numbers to me. It's not what his box score is. It's the mentality. When I see him go out there against the Suns and be the best person on that floor that night, that shows me he can do it. I talked about it last year when he played, I think it was Cat and Gobert by himself, and it was him. And shout out to Young Harriet on Twitter. She called him the puppy jersey guy. Somebody who's a bunch of hustle players. He went out there, I think, 2 games in a row that he played the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he literally, like, just dog them dudes. And them 2 7-footers, 2 all NBA, whether it be offensively or defensively centers in the NBA last year. He went out there and dominated them guys 2 games in a row. And I was like, okay, it's in him. He's showing that he has whatever this switch is. I don't know if his dad pissing him off, cussing him out, if it's coach, if it's a girl, I don't know. But it showed that he got it, but he don't have it all the time. And this road trip just kind of, pointed that out to me. I know a lot of people was talking about like, he was tired and things like that. I ain't really gonna hone on that too much because that's partially TJ fault for the early in this season only playing them guys 20 to 25 minutes. I get it's a new offense, so they running at a fast pace, and things like that. They probably need breathers quicker. So if it's taking him in the season to get into the shape it's gonna need to be for this offense in the playoffs, okay, he probably was tired. Great. I'm not gonna sit here and knock them for that because he ain't getting his minutes up until now. But just like I said, locking in, bro, bang. I love the toughness. I love the shit talk. I love, I know Grizz Twitter has been calling them out for like standing down to these guys, kind of getting punked in a way when these guys are hurting their players or fouling these guys extra hard. Like I love standing up and saying something to these guys. But you're going to have to bag this stuff up, bro. You're going to have to bag it up. You cannot keep talking shit to these players, buffing up to them, and then we go out here and lose these games to them. Like, it just ain't a good look. And partially, that may be part of his team not backing him up in the shit talk. Maybe he's expecting to unlock something else in his teammates when he does this, which he should. It should. They should come up there and back him up. I'm not going to absolve them either. But, bro, if you're going to be the one to poke these bears or whatever, you're going to have to be definitely part of that charge in closing those games out. Whether the shot is falling or not, he's just going to have to – he's going to have to lock in. Both of them guys, bro. Those are the guys that we're probably collectively about to be paying upwards of $500 million collectively, if not more. I don't give a damn if Ja ain't out. I get the other guys. We talked about that earlier that were not playing that night. But we paying y'all $500 million. You definitely gonna have to find a way, bro, to lock in and stay locked in. You just have to. Let me just go to a comment real quick. Kenny said, Jerry did what Bane has always done and Golden State about waking up in the second half. Yeah. It definitely took him a second, but see, that's my issue because
they don't come out on 10, yo. They don't come out on 10.
You have an advantage. I would have expected him to start slower dealing with the physicality from Sabonis the night before. That wasn't necessarily the case. He was attacking them, kind of regularly throughout that Kings game. To me, if you know that I got a size and probably a skill advantage on these other bigs, you should come out the gate. And this has been my thing even with TJ. If you win these games early, you can sit these guys at the end or at least longer. When you wait to wake up in the second half, late third quarter, fourth quarter, if you've extended all this energy in the first part of the game, it's kind of like, all right, well, I'm hoping you're not going to get tired. I hope you're focused. Yeah. It's hard to flip that switch, bro. Just as an athlete, it's hard to just flip that switch unless you just got something that's a little off. Vince Williams or
Cam Smith.
Them kind of guys, they probably can flip it. But Jared hasn't shown to be able to do that. And he shouldn't. I think he should come out and just dominate. He has this. I tweeted this out. He has the skill to do that every single night. It's just up to him with the mentality. And that's always been my knock on him. It's just the mentality to go out there consistently and know that, look, I can dominate anybody. Like, y'all food to me. But he got to believe that every single night. And we're going to need him to believe that. Those other games before that, I don't really have too much to touch on. Like you said, the win in Phoenix was a great Moore win. The Pelicans game, hate that Ja got hurt, but that Thunder game.
And the Warriors game. Both of those games were definitely winnable.
I don't even want to talk about the Thunder game because I've been anticipating that, and when Ja was going to play, I was like, hurt. Whatever.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep this analogy, and I hope it makes sense, and we're going to go on to Jimmy Butler. Yes, whoever that's running, if anyone runs, then this will make sense. It's a lot. You expend way more energy chasing the person, trying to catch them,
Oh yeah.
Instead of running from the lead. If you're running from the lead, you set the pace of the race. You control it. You can kind of see, you control what's going on. But when you chasing, trying to catch that person, you expend a lot more energy. If you can catch them and if you go hawk them down, you guarantee you dog tired by the end.
Right.
If you lead it from the front the whole time, you control your own destiny.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
Or at least you got a little extra to kick in if they catch you from the back a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone that knows mechanics on running or anything, just y'all should be able to get that. But
don't pull a damn muscle trying to catch up somebody, boy.
Man, for real, you hurt yourself. Like real talk. People I've seen, oh my God, people I've seen hurt themselves trying to hold people down. Oh my gosh, hamstring, dang it. Yeah, nah, bro. It's a different type of thing when you chasing, bro.
I was around when that dude from White Station ran track, bro. I don't know that man's name, but my homeboys know who I'm talking about. If you ran track or you was in sports around this time, anywhere from I want to say about, I think he was around 07, 08. I know for sure he was around 9 and 10. I know that for sure. I believe he was a fast dude in Memphis, bro.
Yeah.
And he ran. He switched when he ran. His hands did this when he ran. But boy, you ain't want to see that man on the track, bro. I swear to God, was dominated. I think he went on he ran collegiately for sure. I just can't remember where he went. But man, he was killing folks. You talking about getting a baton in the fourth leg? Your lead is down, bro. Your lead is not matter.
Nah,
but let me stop talking about reminiscing on the old time. Let's get to what y'all really want to probably talk about and hear about. It was reported that I haven't really even seen too many reports saying that they are actually in talks about this. But it was a report, if you may, that DraftKings, the odds had flipped of where Jimmy Butler's next team was going to be. The Grizzlies were something like plus 4,000. And they had jumped all the way down to plus 400, which was one of the most dramatic flips they've seen on something like that. And then woke up this morning on Sunday and saw that they actually dropped again on DraftKings to plus 300, which made them the actual favorite at that point. I'm going to say this for those that are still trying to, talk themselves out of the fact that this is probably a thing that could happen, very soon. People ain't moving money in Vegas for nothing. Just because you don't hear about it in Timbuktu don't mean it's not happening. That's typically how trade discussions happen. You don't hear about them. They just pop up on Sports Center, Shams, Woj, and you like, damn, that just hit me. What happened? Where would this come from? And I know y'all are jaded. I am a little bit too about how everything went last week with that Dorian Finney-Smith deal, how everything got reported. I still think we got to use his leverage to a certain extent. I still think Climate kind of jacked up on that, but it is what it is. We move on. That money doesn't move for no reason. Somebody got some kind of intel that this is a very close to happening thing. I am worried that it hasn't happened as of yet, because same thing happened last week. We heard about it. Time went on and it didn't. But what's your thoughts when you heard that Jimmy Butler potentially could be joining the Grizzlies, bro? Well, give me your initial reaction with your face. I don't know what your face looked like when you saw it.
I was like, what? I can't say the word that I want to say. I was like, what? Like, you dead serious right now? It was, I don't know. I've kind of stayed away from this discourse because everybody been yapping and yada, 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 and people have been trying to talk to me about it. But I don't know. Like, on paper, I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. On paper, you get a big wing that has playoff experience that can, as you said, be that bridge for GG. Someone GG can learn from. If he feels a need, he can defend. He can create his own shot. You'll probably give up Smart, Luke, Jit, and some draft compensation, which isn't a terrible deal. Mm-hmm. So on paper, it makes sense. But then you get to the money part. If you do the trade, we have to go into luxury tax, which, if you know Kleiman, he doesn't have a great history of financially sacrificing things for a trade. Unless I'm wrong, please tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's his majority track record. He's done it time to time, but I don't see him. He doesn't do that a lot.
Have they had a need
to do it? I don't think so. So
they ain't been close enough to even
they haven't been, So that could also be another point. Also, I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. Jimmy Butler's one of my favorite players in the league when I say this. I love the way he plays basketball. He plays basketball the right way. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler when I say this. But I can also say that he has been a problem, not the problem. He has been a problem at every situation he's been in. He didn't like Chicago because they didn't want to pay him, which is a good reason. Good reason. Which is a very good reason. Very good reason.
All right.
I get Chicago. Can't say nothing about Chicago. Minnesota, he just didn't like Cat. He didn't like them soft old dudes. And so you can kind of say what you want about that situation.
Is that a problem? I'm sorry, bro. I want to compete. Y'all ninjas don't.
Yeah. Peace. Okay, so Minnesota, he didn't really jive how the stars were hooping. Philly, I don't know. I think Philly, they chose, as he said, Tobias Harris over me. That was his word. Is that Jimmy's fault? Come on. And now Miami. Now it was a whole thing where number one, he after the death of his father, Pat Riley wanted him to play like right out. He didn't really give him time to grieve. I think it was reported where like Jimmy wanted to speak publicly about. Oh yeah, it was when he spoke about the playoff series, and Pat Riley publicly said, "Hey, if you're not playing, you need to be quiet."
No, that's not what he said. That's
not what he said. What I think that
if you're not playing, you need to shut your mouth.
Oh yeah,
that's what he said. Yeah. You said it nice.
I did.
That's all. I was like, hey, let me tell y'all something real quick. It may be a Black African slave complex, trauma, PTSD, whatever you want to call it. But when a non-melanated man tells a melanated man to shut your mouth, I shut up. I shut the hell up. Shut your mouth?
That's kind of crazy. That's a little OD. That's a little crazy.
Come on, bro. Like, all right, you wildin', Pat. And I love everything that you done did, even though I feel like you're a little overrated. Me personally, I think Pat is definitely overrated. But he's still a legend. But like, you don't think you can you don't talk to people like you don't talk to grown men that way, bro.
Yeah, you don't.
Directly or indirectly. So keep going, bro. I just had to step in real quick.
So I've just went through the history of Jimmy Butler at his previous stops. And then now this year, the Heat just aren't a very good team this year. They've kind of pushed Tyler Hero kind of to that A1A type. Yeah. And they've kind of, I don't know if that was an Eric Spoelstra decision or Pat Riley or kind of just how the vibe of the team has. They've kind of put, and Tyler's been playing great basketball. I can't even knock. He's been playing good basketball. But they've kind of pushed him into that, I don't want to say position, maybe. I don't know. Would you like that epsilon? I don't know. So there's been a lot of things that's happened with Jimmy Butler. And you can kind of say whose fault it was. I don't think Jimmy was at fault in most of those situations. That's just me, though.
When you break it down like that,
I feel like he couldn't have.
Team Jimmy, bro. Damn it.
I feel like he could have handled them better. Let me say that. I feel like he could handle situations better. But I feel like Jimmy Butler's been wrong in all of these situations, especially how I just broke it down. I'm just, as a Grizzlies fan, first and foremost, I'm just a little nervous about what a Jimmy Butler could bring to a locker room. I feel like he could do a lot of great to a locker room, being that no-nonsense playoff experience. Hey, y'all ninjas better come on with it, or but that's saying everybody don't respond. Yeah, but the thing is, everybody don't respond that way. I was looking at an interview he did a few years ago. I can't remember who he was doing, but he was like in Chicago when he was with Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson and Joakim Noah. That's what he was used to, like of being very hard on each other, cursing each other. Like, remember, he came from Marquette. I can't remember the same coach that coached D Wade and how D Wade talked about how that coach. I think it's Mark Drew. Fact check me. I can't remember who the coach in Marquette was. They coach. Either way, they both coached the same dude. And Jimmy talked about how even from Marquette days, there was a very hard nosed, no nonsense basketball club. Right. And he brought that mentality to every stop he's went to. It's clashed with some of the guys he's been with and some of the front offices he's been with. That's why I don't know how the Grizzlies could respond. How would a Jaren Jackson Jr., how would a John Morant, how would a Desmond Bain, how would a Taylor Jenkins respond? Like I remember when I'm just coming back to it's just like Michael Carter, when he was on somebody's podcast, he was saying how him and Fred Hoiberg got into it, and he was like, Jimmy said, first of all, I don't like you. Second of all, I think you're soft. Third of all, I don't think you're a good coach. And him and Fred Hoiberg just started. I don't know if that vibes. Of course, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know. Maybe we can ask Michael Cole. If we get to Michael Cole, maybe Michael Cole is a better person to stay in this. I just don't know how those personalities would gel in this locker room. That's why I'm nervous.
Forget not knowing. If you had to put money on it, you had to put money. I'm not telling you have to, but I'm saying if you in your mind like, look, I'm gonna put some money on the way it's gonna go. What would you say that effect is? What would you say that type of chemistry would be? Because shout out to Zodiac GM, he says A+++ all across the board.
Oh yeah, because he put all the like Zodiac signs together. And all
that. What would you say?
I would say if I put money, I feel like it would clash, because the reason why I say that is because when you hear everything about the locker room, everyone has we all love each other. We all get along so good. Everybody's saying TJ, he's a player's coach. I feel like it's a little too, in my opinion, a little too much kumbaya. We hear a lot of kumbaya-ness.
Way too much.
From this team. I'm not saying you're supposed to hate your teammate. I ain't saying that.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
But if you put a Jimmy Butler and drop him into that kumbaya-ness, he may disrupt it. I don't know. If I had to bet money, I think that would clash. But if the team responds, I feel like this team can go to another level we haven't seen before. If they respond correctly. But if I had to bet money on it, I don't think that's gonna happen, at least right away.
So let's man. Hey, it is what it is. I told you I wanted to be at an hour, but we in a good groove, a good conversation. I got to do what I got to do. Yep. So let's kind of break down what you were saying, and it's some of the same concerns I've kind of heard on social media. It's a guy that he had a lot of issues on a lot of different teams, and he landed with a particular team. I'm trying to think of his name. He landed with a particular team where like it was a perfect fit with him in the city, like changed his image, end up getting the jersey retired, like he's had a hell of a career.
Does his name sound like rhyme with Mac Nandoff? Is that who you're referring to?
Yeah, I think it's a player on our team right now. Got the same first name as him, Zach.
Dang, I can't think of it right now. Landolph,
he was like number 50.
Rudolph? No, it's not Rudolph.
No, fool.
Dang, fool. I know you're talking about. He had the headband on, didn't he? He wore a headband.
Zebo, yeah, Zach Randolph.
Him, yeah, Zach Randolph, yeah, that dude, yeah,
you remember, like they was gonna write him off, and he was part of the Jailblazers,
all that. He was fighting in the locker room and all that, all that.
He was doing all kind of crazy stuff. They say, right?
Yeah.
They said they just made up all kind of story about the man, right? He came into Memphis at a time where we were let's just call it what it is, bro. We were
poverty.
We were constantly, sub 30 wins. I think it was probably even sub 25 wins every single season for a while, especially when Pal left. Struggling, dog, like struggling. And you get up on an opportunity to a guy at that time that was making crazy money. Like we look at, I think he was anywhere from, I think he was making like maybe 17 million or something like that. You look at 17 million now, that's like good role player money. Like he was making like money. And he came to Memphis and literally like changed the whole trajectory of his whole image, career, everything. Never got a ring, but he was an all-star, set all these records. I mean, he's
all NBA,
to this day, like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, we gotta toughen up a little bit with this whole, he's gonna, number one, you breaking down the situations at every stop he had was a phenomenal, like just shining a light on the context that needs to be shared with this conversation. Because you got all these people, well, he had an issue at every stop. Bro, I know plenty of people that quit jobs at every job they go to because there's things that go on. Like I've been a manager, at plenty of times, running stuff. Like people don't, and this is what kind of helps me in my career. Like people don't quit bad managers. I mean, they don't quit jobs, they quit bad managers. So if a situation is going on and you can't handle somebody just being honest about it, either we're going to be honest and fix it, or we're going to push it on the rug and I ain't roll. But you can't say that this guy don't care about winning basketball games. All he wanted,
that's all he cares about is winning basketball.
Just be tough and let's win.
Yeah.
And Andrew and the Cat didn't respond well. And you see, they didn't do nothing in Minnesota. Shout out to Cat, he balling in New York now. Shout out to Wiggins, he got him a ring down in Golden State with the greatest shooters of all time. But like, he wasn't wrong in that situation. He wasn't wrong in Philly when literally I helped like jumpstart what y'all got going on, and y'all choose to pay the dude that ain't really did much of nothing but just past that his whole career. Y'all pay him and let me go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm gonna get this tax-free money, get a fat check, be on the beach okay, bye, Philly. I don't want to be cold no way. So the situation that's going on now, bro, like, is what it is, bro. Sometimes people just grow apart, and because Jimmy's a little bit outspoken with it, y'all sensitive and scared to bring him on a team that I tweeted it out today. It's no other team in the NBA right now. You name me one that you literally look down, probably 1 through 18, including the two-way guys. That not one of them dudes has an ego problem. Tell me a dude on the Grizzlies right now that you think got an ego problem. Just one. Ja Morant is the most unselfish superstar in the whole league. He ain't posted about himself doing nothing all-star, probably partially because he been off the court, due to injury. But he pushing his guys. You got Desmond Bain, servant leader. Yeah, I got my critiques with some of the stuff been going on lately, but I always say he's the leader of this team. Like, he's the heartbeat of the team. That dude ain't got no ego. He can handle the him of all people can handle the shit talk from Jimmy.
Oh, for sure, yeah. He'll get right with Jimmy.
They might fight the first day of practice. They might fight. After that, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be cool, yeah. Jaren, for all intents and purposes, he's not gonna ever be the enforcer of this team. I don't care how tall he is, how much he weigh. But at the end of the day, that dude can take critiques. I've never seen him succumb to any pressure. I've never seen him like yes, on the court, he doesn't give you that aggressiveness every game. I'm gonna say that, but he doesn't to like critiques and stuff like that. He take that stuff on the chin and keep it rolling.
Jaren Jackson Sr. is a crazy individual. If y'all really listen to how Jaren talk about his dad, Jaren Jackson Sr. is crazy. He been jamming hearing folk cuss him out for his whole career. Tom Izzo, he went to Michigan State. He said Tom Izzo made him go to the league. He said, bro, get the F out of my office and go to the league. Like,
you think that key problem with getting some difficult talking to? No,
bro.
BC gonna put on that weird voice. Yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah, you're right. Like, tough, but can take like you can go down the line, bro. I don't think GG. He's gonna be a sponge when Jimmy Butler comes in.
He can be watching Jimmy. He be watching Jimmy warm up. Like, hey, bro, dang. Write this stuff down real quick. See what's going on. Hey.
He gonna be in his pocket. Same with Jalen Wells. I think it was a interview he had, and Jalen Wells was talking about Jimmy Butler is one of the guys that he literally like idolizes. So, he try to mimic his game around. Like, you talk about all these David Lamb, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming in. But why? Like, nobody can say anything basketball wise.
Tell me why.
You're talking about a team. So let me say this, because I know the biggest things people talk about the locker room. If he comes in, if we talk about this locker room being as close knit as they are, do you think that the 13, 14 guys on this team outside of him are going to let him come in and divide them when they've been together for so long? They ride for each other. If anything, it's going to be Jimmy on one side and them on the other, and they're just going to isolate him. That's the worst case scenario. That's not going to happen, number one, because Jimmy is at a point in his career, he know that he on the downslope, number one. Number two, he wants to win a ring before he gets up out of here. And if he comes to Memphis, I don't care what y'all say, that's the closest chance he's about to get to win a ring outside of him going to probably Boston, maybe Cleveland, but they're not even on the radar to get him right now. They have to give up probably too much to get him. That's number two. Number three, he got it out for Pat Riley in the Heat. I want to show y'all the same way I showed Philly when I left them that I can propel a team better than where they at or where they've been. And he did that in Miami twice. I ain't been to the finals twice in 5 years. Out of the guys y'all want to bring in, tell me who done did that. who's led the team to do that. And I love Cam Johnson. He did that. He fixed his team. Great. If y'all want to run around and pat each other on the ass and feel good about a 50-win season every year, that's cool. Like, that's cool. We've done that 2 years already. But if you really care about this team and you care about the city, because I've always talked about the financial impact and just the impact period on the city of Memphis with them bringing the championship, that should be number one on your list. Forget how you feel. Like, y'all want to feel good about moves and stuff like that. I don't care. I'm not in the locker room. As long as them guys rock with Jimmy and want them to lead him, they want him to lead them to the championship or to the promised land, that's all that matters. The financial implications, that's another thing I keep hearing about. Well, it's going to put the guys into the tax. Which one of y'all signing the checks, bro? Not me, not Evan, not anybody in the comments. Nobody as a fan is signing a check to anybody on here. So why do y'all worry about Robert Parra, one of the richest owners in the NBA, in the smallest market damn near in the NBA, paying a freaking tax to try to win a championship? Name me a tax team or a championship team that has not paid the tax in some form of way, whether it's on the lower end or higher end. Please tell me that. Like, y'all be thinking y'all be sounding smart with this stuff and y'all do not, bro. Like, it just don't be smart. Yes, you're going to pay to play. But if you ain't writing the checks, so what? What does that matter? Flipping and taking another step further, every team has a salary threshold, cap, whatever you want to say. So, yes, if Jimmy Butler is taking up more percentage of that cap, so what? Like, it doesn't affect you. If the deal, like you said, and like I pointed out on Twitter as well, if the deal is Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, and Jitty, which it's going to probably push us further in the tax than what we need to be with those three deals, you can get it done that way. I said go ahead and throw BC in that deal. We need consolidation anyway. The main two roster or rotation players in that deal out of the four is Smart and BC. If you told me basically all I had to do was move Smart and BC to bring in Jimmy Butler or any other high-level Hall of Fame, by the way, small forward in the NBA to this team, I'm doing that all day. Marcus Smart is done, bro. Like, I hate to say that. I say that very sadly. I sadly say that. But he can't stay on the court. And all these theories about what he could do in the playoffs, if that man got a left extensor hood, I didn't even know that was a term for a finger. I was like, bro, is we talking about a Camaro? What is this? Like, if he do that again, or a back, or whatever, like if he gets promoted to coach in the playoffs because he's injured, that does nothing for this team, bro. I'm sorry. So if you got to give him and the BC up, I know y'all love BC. I love BC too as a person. He's a great competitor and teammate. But I'm not going to not improve my team and upgrade my team to keep a guy that I like. There's not even a top 7 talent on your team. And like I said, Luke ain't going to be here next year, no way. And they trying to get Jitty up out of here anyway. Jitty cool. Shit, I think Miami want Jitty anyway because he's a guy that can fit their system. If that's all I'm giving up and maybe a first-round pick, bro, what is y'all crying about? The same $48 million you paid them 4 guys, you're going to pay him. So what? It's the same money that y'all ain't paying. Like, let's stop with these little just petty. It's just petty, bro. Like, I get it. You may not like Jimmy as a person, but at the same time, like, think about what the goal is. And the goal is to win a championship. Jimmy Butler on the Grizzlies for only having to give up that, and you still finna bring back Vince, Gigi, Santi, Ja, whoever. Man, from Collierville to Castalia. That's my hashtag for the parade in Memphis when we win the championship. From Collierville to Castalia. It's gonna be a day in the city. Like, bro, it makes too much sense. I'm sorry. If Jimmy is, shout out to Saint. I'm gonna be done on my little mini rant about it. We was chopping it up when it first kind of dropped. He made a good point. I'm sure he's gonna probably talk about it on his show. Worst case scenario, let's say Jimmy come here and it don't work out. For all intents and purposes, you still have. Oh, I love this comment. I'm gonna talk about this in 1 second. I love this comment just came through. You have a $50 million plus trade asset if he opts in, or you re-sign him in the intent of moving him. Or guess what you do? You let him walk. You want to know why? Because you got Jaren Jackson potentially. Now, I don't think this is me. We'll talk about this another day. I don't think Jaren will get all NBA. I just don't. I'll explain why later. He's having a great season. He should be an all-star. I don't think he's going to get all NBA. But in the very small chance that he does, you got to pay that dude $300-something million. You're going to have to pay him something. So if Jimmy Butler does not work out, all you did was cut out Smart and BC's contracts they were going to be on for the next 2 years and create space for Jaren that you wanted to keep in the first place. Oh, and guess what you get to keep? Santi Aldama. You got to make space to find these dudes that y'all want, bro. Like, you can't hoard all these players that don't work this way. I know everybody don't understand it, and I ain't trying to down talk. I promise I'm not. But, like, you have to make room for guys if you want to keep other guys. So, at the worst case, he walks, and you just create a cap space for yourself. And you fill whatever space you got left with a role player or something like that. Hopefully, GG's ready by the time Jimmy. Like, it's so many positives that outweigh the negative of y'all feelings being hurt. It ain't even y'all feelings. Y'all ain't in the locker room. It's them guys. And if they want him, go get him. And I'm about to be done. Mr. Receipt, shout out to you for jumping in. He said, JB is 35. Are you sure he isn't cooked? Go look at his percentages. Jimmy Butler is having the best statistical shooting season of his whole career. The best. I am not capping. Evan finna pull the numbers right now. He's shooting the basketball the best he has in his whole career at 35. That ain't cooked to me. Now, his points per game are down. His stats are probably down a little bit further than what he's used to. Context matters, though. If he's in a position where he don't care to be there, I think I saw something last week, bro. Jimmy Butler shot a one-legged three in the middle of the game. A one-legged three, like he in like warm-ups or something. He don't care to be in Miami. So I'm not finna knock his points per game taking a 4-point dive when he literally just don't want to be there, Mr. Receipts. His percentages are up. And that's a good thing for this team. Go ahead.
Jimmy Butler this season is shooting 55.2% from the field, career high. He is shooting 37.5% from three, which is his second. 37.5% from three, which is his second highest of his career. Before last year he shot 41.4. This year he's shooting 1.5 attempts, so not that many attempts. And free throw percentage, he's shooting 78.8%, which is a little below average because he's a career 84.2. So his free throws per shooting has gone down a little bit, but he's also shooting, since he's been in his prime, the least of his career. Since he's been in his prime.
I ain't watched the Heat game. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy shooting free throws with his eyes closed. He's just that petty. He don't want to be there no more.
I mean, he's still having 17.6 on the year, though. People say his career, he's still having 17.6 this year in 22 games played.
Now pull up Marcus Smart stats, respectfully. Not y'all at home. You ain't got to if you don't want to. I'm just saying, like, we're gonna talk about people that's cooked. Like, come on, man. Mr. Receipt said, I haven't watched him at all this year, so I'll check his highlight. I just want to see same athleticism and dog. Absolutely, Mr. Receipt. Appreciate you tapping in, brother. The dog is there. The dog ain't gonna leave. Like, you don't lose that, if anything. Now, you might lose some skill. You might lose a step. But his game has always been a postseason game. He's been a 16-game player, pretty much since maybe he left. I mean, a little bit while he was in Chicago, but ever since then, he's been primed for a guy that you want them last 16 games, which is the postseason, the playoffs. He just has a game that fits. Something that we need. Talk about fit really, really quick. I've seen people say, well, he's not gonna space the floor. He's gonna hurt the spacing on the floor. My response to that is to space the floor away from him and give him the ball and get the hell out the way. Because the Grizzlies need a closer, bro. They need somebody that can get in the mid-range or get to the basket, know how to draw fouls, and close the game out. We don't have that. So I don't care about the spacing. Like, I'm cool on that. Candy said with AC on the bench, he'll quickly Yeah, I believe that. I mean, he's 35. He might listen, but he does have a relationship with Anthony Carter too. So good point out. Good point out. He's been down there in Miami with him. So yeah, bro. Shout out to EJ Spaces Grizzlies on Twitter. We've been going back and forth about the Jimmy Butler conversation probably for the last 2-3 weeks. And my whole thing with him was not that I didn't want Jimmy. I didn't think Jimmy was even worth talking about because I didn't think Kleiman was going to ever even attempt to get him. And I didn't think he was going to be even available to the Grizzlies. But with this being a thing, I'm all in, bro. I'm just waiting on the notification, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up. So I'm gonna let land my little plane right there, bro. But I just want to kind of knock out some of those really myths in a sense. Like it's stuff that we heard, but like when you actually fact check it, it's not really true. He gonna help his team a lot if it happens, bro.
And I don't disagree with nothing you said. And on paper, I want Jimmy. The reason why I gave my reason is because number one, I honestly don't think it's gonna happen. Wholeheartedly, because I just don't think it's gonna happen. Like everybody getting like I think it's true thing. I think the phone call has been made, but I just don't trust ZK that much to pull the trick on it and something this big.
I don't even.
That's the reason why I don't see it happen because you can do that. You gonna suffocate. I'm not because I'm gonna still keep breathing because I'm not holding my breath on that. On paper, would I like Jimmy Butler on the team? Of course I would. Jimmy Butler's an all-NBA caliber player. He's been to the finals twice. He's a great player. He will help this team a lot. I just think ZK thinks about the things that I just said or that everyone is saying. He could, if worst case scenario, if it doesn't go right, we don't want a situation where Jimmy Butler's requesting trade from us and we got to try to move and all that stuff. I think he's going to try to play it safe. That's why I gave him. I don't think it's going to happen. If it was me,
how many more years do you think he played in the NBA?
Jimmy Butler?
He's 35 right now. How many more years you think he got?
4 years, maybe. Top.
Right.
Yeah.
If he's spending on average outside of maybe Philly, if he's spending 3 to 4 years in every stop, if he want to get out here at 38, 39, bro, we can go and take you out the pasture anyway. You about done. Like you done anyway. We probably already got him back real quick. Yeah, man. Put him back in here. Like, I'm just playing. But like,
that's crazy.
That's my thing. Like, he's not even gonna be around here that long to see that. If he gets here in the middle of this, really the end of this season, it's gonna be only about 2 months left. Once he maybe 3 if it happens this week or whatever. He ain't gonna be there that long to cause that issue for that long. You got this.
You see it way lower risk than you see it as very low risk, high reward as other people. That's what our differences is. I see it as like a medium risk. I see the medium risk. That's why I see it. I think it should happen. I'm saying. I want Jimmy Butler. I just don't think it's happening because I don't believe in ZK to pull the trigger on some of this bold in the middle of the season at the trade deadline, which he does not have a history of doing. And I feel like Jimmy Butler, don't we always get dudes at the end of ways?
Oh God, I'm so tired of it. At least he got a step left. At least you show right. We'll get Jimmy Butler at 39. He on his way out.
Just cause, man,
late, bro.
We'll see what happens. But I'm just not confident the trade will happen because of. I don't think ZK gonna want to go. I don't think Rapper or ZK. Like we do safe trades. Like that's the best way I can say it. We don't do swing for the fences, win now trades. We just don't. And I hope I'm wrong. God, I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. I just don't see ZK doing it. Because
like I said, he don't want to go. He's never been this close. That's the only reason I'm giving him some kind of faith. We literally have the best roster we ever had. It's been injured, but we have the best roster that we've ever had. We're closer to a championship than we've ever been. If you don't make the move now, you're literally never gonna make it. You just won't. So I'm trying to get his man just a little hope. Because if February 6th come around and ain't no move made, or it's a little petty little man.
I don't think that gonna happen, bro. Real talk. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't think. We got a month. I don't think that's gonna happen. I honestly don't think. I do not think a move is gonna be made. I honestly don't. So I feel like ZK is that confident in his roster. Being with the injuries, I don't think a move is gonna happen. I hope I'm wrong. Mark this. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see it because I feel like the DFS was a Zach Kleiman trade. Very much a low level, not low level, but like not a very flashy player, fits a need, yada yada yada, low risk. That is a Zach Climber trade. The reason why they keep wanting Cam Johnson is because he fit the need, but they wanted too much, and ZK got greedy. That was on him. Jimmy Butler goes everything gets what history says that ZK would do. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I think there's a lot of smoke to it. I don't think there's no real fire behind it. I think
that money got moved for some reason. Them folks ain't waste their money.
You right. I just don't see
1,000 to 300.
We thought we was gonna get DFS, and then you see it like I just think ZK ain't finna pull the trick.
Odds wasn't like that. It wasn't like that's the only odds wasn't like that. That's a crazy flip.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy flip.
It is.
Yeah, man. That's all we got. We appreciate y'all, man. 600 and almost 50 in here tonight.
Appreciate
not sure
y'all
how
late
many
night
watched it on Monday on YouTube, but we appreciate y'all to tap in on Monday as well.
Yes, sir. For real.
We be in the comments live on YouTube too, so we don't leave y'all at the dry on YouTube. We don't record it live. We in there live chatting it up with y'all. So we appreciate y'all tapping in and running it up over there for sure. What you got this week, bro? You got any post game bounce?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I do have another post game bounce for the game. Not this next home game, but I believe the next home game. So yeah, y'all keep looking at y'all ring me for my last one. I appreciate y'all messing with me on the last one because I actually like doing those a lot. So for the next one I do for one of these next 2 home games, y'all mess with your boy. Appreciate y'all.
For sure. Well, man, we're gonna get out of here right before the hour and a half. I take it.
I told you. I should have bet. I should have bet it. I said we're gonna do an hour and a half. I should have bet it.
Man, you had to talk about Jimmy. I was like, oh man, he done prime me up. Why you do this why you do me like this? You say I get you riled up, bro. You be doing it to me too.
It's part of relationship. Do it for the content. Do it for the content.
Yeah, man. Well, look, y'all have a safe week. I know in Tennessee we're gonna probably be getting a little winter weather. I don't know if it's gonna be
stay
snow,
safe.
the ice, but y'all be safe. Y'all know people in Tennessee cannot drive when it get cold, so
at all.
Drive defensively. And
go to speed limit.
Make you happy. Definitely drive the speed limit. Get off your phone, especially in the ice. But do something this week to make you happy, make you feel good. As always, we will catch y'all next Sunday/Monday. And until then, go Grizz.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.